Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the CURT RockerBall Cushion Hitch Gooseneck Ball. Now, many people that tow gooseneck trailers or even RVs with a gooseneck really see the benefits because the towing capacity that the truck can handle really goes up significantly. And in fact, these numbers match that. But the problem with it is the chucking that occurs, and really that's just the clanking back and forth as you hit bumps or even just hit the brakes, and it does make for a little bit more of a tricky and not so comfortable towing experience. And that's where the shocker ball comes into play. Now, with the shock drop technology that this has, it allows it to kind of pivot, and that's going to take away from some of that jarring and just hard impacts of that metal to metal, and that's just going to be better for your truck overall. It's not going to be rocking it around, and you're just going to have better steering feel and an overall better experience by reducing that hard impact. Now, I'm here with Jake, who's actually the owner of the truck and RV combo, and we're going to go around the parking lot with the rocker ball installed, and he's used to driving this combo quite often, so I'm hoping he can kind of pick up on the improvement that it's made.
You can tell right off the bat, even with the smaller bumps, it's a little bit smoother than it was before. The one thing I am concerned about and interested is whether or not the airbags on the truck, the suspension head on the gooseneck, and then the rocker ball, to see if they'll fight against one another trying to work to fix the problem. It shouldn't, because they all three do different things, but we'll see how it goes.
And when you normally pull, when do you notice the chucking the most?
Usually when getting onto highways, if the on-ramp is really bumpy, when you're starting to pick up speed, you'll feel that chucking start. The cushion head does do a lot to eliminate that, but mainly it's when you're going over bridges.
Okay.
When you go over a bridge, anytime you hit a heavy bump with the front axle of the truck, then the rear axle, then the trailer axle, that's enough to start kicking it back and forth. But I mean, even though we're going slower here, I can feel it wanting to do something with the cracks in the concrete here, and it's not doing anything.
So pretty noticeable out the gate then, even just in not normal driving conditions.
Yeah, even with it giving me like a little bit of a front to back movement. Normally it does a lot more than that when I'm going over those bumps, but I haven't felt anything so far. I can definitely tell when going over some of these bumps. Before, the Gen Y is designed to take care of the up and down motion that's happening when going over bumps, but it never did take away the chucking front to back. But the rocker ball is really dampening that front to back movement, and just trying to keep it a little bit more controlled rather than transferring the energy from the fifth wheel to the truck itself.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it is kind of just taking that surging feeling away over the bumps. Definitely mutes it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot softer.
Now, Jake, overall, just what little bit of driving we did in the parking lot, you found that it was already noticeable. So is this something, if you are towing a gooseneck, is it worth getting for truck owners?
Yeah, I definitely think so, whether it's a gooseneck trailer or a fifth wheel with a gooseneck adapter like I have. The thing with chucking is it's going to get worse before it gets better, and usually you have to slow down or speed up a little bit in order to get rid of it, but usually speeding up makes it worse. So this is definitely something that's going to help control it a lot better.
Just kind of takes some of that jarring out, softens the blow a little bit.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Jake. Now, there's isolators in here with that shock drop technology, and that's just going to allow this to go back and forth, but without wearing it out. And that's something that's really nice. It's virtually maintenance free because there's no airbag or anything like that for leaks. And there's an included Zerk fitting here on the bottom. That way, when you do need to grease it up, you can just simply pump some grease into here and you're good to go. Now, this is going to work with your round or square openings, so depending on your gooseneck, no worries, you're going to be able to put these plates in here if you have that square opening, and that's going to keep this nice and tight and just simply going to lock it in place. Now, you're going to see that you have 3 different height options, but something to think about is this actually adds a little bit of height compared to your normal gooseneck ball. So if you were towing with a normal ball before, something you might want to consider is because of that height, you may need to adjust your goose box or adapter to make sure that your camper or trailer is still level. Now, if you're worried about any reduced capacities, not to worry. This actually has the same capacity as our factory ball that came with the Gooseneck, coming in with a 30,000 pound gross trailer weight rating. You also have a vertical load limit of 7,500 pounds, and it's going to be your standard 2 5/16 ball. Now, speaking of that ball, this is going to be chrome plated, so it's going to hold up long term and still look nice. Also, you have a black carbide powder coat finish here, so that also looks nice. And the great part too is you may be saying, well, how do I load this in? There's also a molded arrow in here, so you know to point that forward. That way you really can't mess up getting this installed, which really is just simple drop-in installation. You just put this in place. If you do have that square opening, you will put those plates in, but other than that, yeah, just drop it in, latch your gooseneck, and you're ready to go. You're going to actually get a little plug here so you can keep your gooseneck hole covered and protected, but also this is going to stay covered and protected in its included carrying case. So you do lose that ability if you had that BMW turnover to just stow it in here, but having a carrying case means that this is going to keep the grime from your interior of your truck, and it's just going to keep it protected long term. And that was a look at the CURT RockerBall Cushion Hitch Gooseneck Ball.